So, how that opportunity to even be cast on Days of Our Lives some 41 years ago came your way, came into your life, Thaao.
It was, I was in New York doing Jockeys, the play, and then a director saw me in it and cast me. John, he won the Oscar the year before for Rocky, and he was doing a film called Slow Dancing in the Big City. And when we completed that, which was a wonderful experience, I went into the couple of other films, including Altered States, which brought me out to California with Ken Russell directing and Bill Hurt. And then I remember I was going to go on the stage at the Armandson with Charlton Heston to do Man for All Seasons. But then I was offered Altered States, and I decided to do Altered States instead. And then we had the strike, and the strike is the only thing that we could work on was soap operas. And so my agent sent me into audition for General Hospital in the Cassadine story, The Ice Princess, and it had a humongous audience, the biggest audience in the history of daytime. And I remember going in, and I came out and I got word that they're going to go in a different way. So they went with Andre Lanzat, who died recently, actually, sadly. And then suddenly they realized that Andre wasn't strong enough, so they remembered me and they called me in to play the strong Cassadine young brother. And that's how it started. And Pat Falcon-Smith was the head writer. And then I was the only one out of 30 actors who survived that summer storyline. And she said, I'm going over to Days of Our Lives, I want to take you with me. And so I went, and Gloria Monty was very upset. And I went over to Days of Our Lives and auditioned with Gloria Loring, who ended up being my wife on the show. And she was just a delight. And that's how Days started. And 43 years later, I'm still playing this character that.
Right. Could you imagine? That's extraordinary. One of the folks that you spent many of those years with, who was a beloved figure on and off television and stage and everything else he did, was the wonderful Bill Hayes. What was it like knowing personally and working with the likes of a Bill Hayes, who of course was part of Doug and Julie all those years, Susan Seaforth Hayes' lovely wife?
Well, I must say, you couldn't meet a finer gentleman, a nicer man, big heart. And he would come to me and he would be so complimentary about the work. He gave me a lot of faith in what I was doing. And Susan, I didn't get along with at all. She clashed with me from the beginning, and I did not take any nonsense, and I gave it right back at her. And that changed. Now we're thinking about going to Egypt together. So
it's amazing.
She just came back from London, sending me all these wonderful photographs. And yeah, we go out for dinner, and so we have a great relationship. But both of them, they were quite the team, and she so dearly cared for him. And I don't think you can meet better people, especially him. He was one of a kind, and I think probably like the originals on Days of Our Lives, you can't beat those people. They were real pros, very disciplined, great schooling, great success. I can't say that about everybody these days. Not everybody goes through that training, and I find that actors can be very much totally for themselves. I was always taught from my youth that to be a team player, and I don't find that as being as contagious. It's a different kind of breed now. The young actors, they're not. I mean, not to say they're not pleasant to work with and everything, but it's just a different kind of training and a different kind of heart, and it's not always we were trained that it was not always about us. We had made enough time to see what others were doing, or how we could achieve in helping others move forward.
Which is the best way to be. Was that the upbringing, the family dynamic early for you, that you learned that and was taught by the parents? Was that something that was instilled in you early?
The tradition, sure. Not speaking back to your parents, not saying anything at the dining table when you're eating dinner because you had nothing important to say.
There you are with them and your sisters.
Ah, yeah.
There's his family, folks, his parents, his sisters, and Thaao and the
that was the evening.